Welcome to our deep dive into the life of one of the most celebrated literary figures of all time, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, best known as the creator of the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes. Doyle's influence stretches far beyond the pages of crime fiction. From his work as a physician to his adventures as a spiritualist, his life was filled with dramatic turns, bold convictions, and an enduring quest for truth. Let's journey back to the 19th century to uncover the story of the man behind the magnifying glass. Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, on May 22, 1859, into a devoutly Catholic and artistically inclined family. His father, Charles Arthur Doyle, was a gifted artist but suffered from chronic alcoholism and mental health issues. His mother, Mary Foley Doyle, was a passionate storyteller who nurtured Arthur's imagination from an early age. Despite the instability at home, young Arthur found solace in books. He was especially drawn to stories of knights, battles, and far-off lands. He attended Jesuit preparatory school at Stonyhurst College, where he endured a rigid and austere education but excelled in literature and sport. In 1876, Doyle enrolled at the University of Edinburgh Medical School. It was here that he met Dr. Joseph Bell, a professor whose keen powers of observation and deduction later served as the primary inspiration for Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Bell's ability to diagnose patients by simply observing their mannerisms made a profound impact on Doyle. While studying medicine, Doyle began to write short stories. His first published work, The Mystery of Sasasavala, appeared in Chambers's Edinburgh Journal in 1879. Encouraged by the positive reception, he continued to write while practicing medicine. After graduating, Doyle served as a ship's doctor on a whaling vessel to the Arctic and later in West Africa. These voyages broadened his worldview and deepened his sense of adventure. He settled in Southsea, near Portsmouth, and opened a private medical practice. But business was slow. During the quiet hours, Doyle returned to his writing. In 1887, he published a study in Scarlet, the first novel featuring Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson. It was published in Beeton's Christmas Annual and received modest success. Still, Doyle had laid the foundation for what would become an iconic literary figure. Doyle followed up with several stories featuring Holmes in the Strand magazine, starting with a scandal in Bohemia in 1891. These tales captivated readers, and soon Sherlock Holmes became a household name. Doyle's intricate plotting, crisp dialogue, and Holmes's cool logic enthralled a public hungry for intellectual entertainment. By 1892, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes was published as a collection. Doyle was now famous, but surprisingly, he began to feel trapped by his creation. In 1893, Doyle made a bold decision. He killed off Sherlock Holmes in the final problem, sending him plummeting to his supposed death at the Reichenbach Falls during a confrontation with the villainous Professor Moriarty. Doyle hoped to focus on more serious literary works, including historical novels like The White Company, but public backlash was intense. People wore black armbands in mourning. The Strand magazine lost thousands of subscribers. Holmes was too beloved to die. In 1901, Doyle published The Hound of the Baskervilles, set before Holmes's death. Its success was immense. prompting Doyle to officially resurrect Holmes in 1903 with The Adventure of the Empty House. Holmes's death had been a ruse. Doyle continued writing Holmes stories until 1927, compiling them into collections such as The Return of Sherlock Holmes, his last beau, and a casebook of Sherlock Holmes. Doyle was knighted by King Edward VII in 1902 for his work on a pamphlet justifying Britain's role in the Boer War. Though controversial, it revealed Doyle's deeply held convictions. He also wrote several historical novels, including Micah Clarke and Sir Nigel. In addition, he took on causes of justice. One of the most notable was the case of George Edelgy, a solicitor wrongly convicted of animal mutilation. Doyle's investigation helped exonerate Edelgy, and later, his work inspired the creation of England's Court of Criminal Appeal. Doyle's personal life was marked by both joy and sorrow. His first wife, Louisa, suffered from tuberculosis and passed away in 1906. He remarried in 1907 to Jean Leck, whom he had admired for years. World War I brought profound tragedy. Doyle lost his son, Kingsley, his brother, and several nephews. These losses deeply impacted him and shaped his turn toward spirit movements seeking to communicate with the dead. Doyle became a passionate spiritualist, writing extensively on the subject and lecturing worldwide. He believed that spiritualism offered hope and healing after the trauma of war. He famously clashed with illusionist Harry Houdini, who sought to expose fraudulent mediums. Despite their friendship, their disagreement over the validity of spiritualism led to a falling out. One of Doyle's most curious books, The Coming of the Fairies, endorsed the Cottingley fairies photographs, which were later revealed as hoaxes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle died on July 7, 1930, at the age of 71 from a heart attack. His final words to his wife were reportedly, "You are wonderful." Today, Doyle's legacy lives on not only through his works, but through the cultural imprint of Sherlock Holmes. The character has been adapted into countless films, series, and books, museums, fan societies, and adaptations across the world testify to the detectives in Doyle's enduring appeal. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more legendary share if you're a Sherlock fan. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Which figure should we explore next? Leave your suggestions in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and never stop seeking.